Hey y'all, this is Ironhack's short intro to math and JavaScript. My name is Nizar Khalife, again, lead instructor in Ironhack Miami, and I'll be guiding you through this lesson. So, again, I want you guys to follow along in your browser's JavaScript console. And also keep in mind that if you haven't seen the previous lesson about numeric values and variables, you probably want to check that out before you look at this one. So now that we covered numbers, let's talk about math. In JavaScript, there are several basic math operations available. And so you've got your addition and your subtraction, you've got your multiplication and your division. So let's play with some math in the console. So I've got my console open already again. So first, let's look at addition. So I'm going to add 21 plus 21. And the browser does that calculation and responds back to me with 42. Cool. Now in this case I use two of the same number, but you can use any two numbers to add. 50 plus 87. Boom, 137. Okay, so let's look at subtraction. So if I had 62 and subtracted 20, boom, 42. Again, the browser does that calculation. It understands this minus symbol and knows like, hey, I have to subtract this, and then it returns a new number value with the result of the operation. There's also multiplication. So for example, I'm going to do 6 times 7. Now notice we're using the asterisk for multiplication. We'll get to that in a second. So 6 times 7, 42. Cool. Now let's do division. So if I were to divide 50 by 5, I get 10. Cool. Now notice that division is using a forward slash. Now this is as opposed to the traditional division symbol that we might have learned in school. So the reason for that is, well, I just don't know how to type the traditional division symbol on a keyboard. But everyone pretty much knows how to type a slash. So that's the reason why this operator is slash rather than that symbol, because, well, I just don't know how to type that symbol. So back to multiplication. So the multiplication symbol is asterisk, because if I try to do the more traditional X, I get an error. It says uncaught syntax error unexpected identifier. So it's X is being treated as an identifier. An identifier is, for example, a name of a variable. So since we use X as a letter for a name of a variable, so that JavaScript doesn't get confused, then we use asterisk for multiplication. That also means that you can't really use an asterisk as part of the name of a variable. Okay, it's going to error out on you. Okay. So let me just clear this out so we don't get distracted. I also want to mention that these operations can be combined together. You can do a lot of them in a row. And normal operator precedence or operation precedence in mathematics apply, which means that all multiplications and divisions will be evaluated first, and then additions and subtractions. Okay, so I'm not really going to get into that right now. I'm just going to show you a quick example of just a lot of operations. Plus 67 minus 3 times 5. That's 108. Boom. Okay, and you can also use parentheses to group operations that you want to be done first. So it changes the result. All right. Aside from that, I also want to show you division by 0. Take any number and divide it by 0, you get infinity, which is like a special value in JavaScript. And I also want to mention that something weird happens when you try to add certain decimal numbers. So let's say I have 1.01 plus 1.02. You'd expect that to be 1.03, but in fact it's not. It's 2.03000002. Actually, I made a mistake. It's supposed to be 2.03. But anyway, the point still stands. JavaScript does some weird things because of that precision thing that we talked about in the last lesson. So the precision in JavaScript is not as precise as it could be. That's the limitations of decimal numbers in this particular programming language. Okay, and as a last thing, we can assign the results of these operations to variables. So I'm going to take one of the previous operations that we did. I just got these previous operations by hitting the up key, like the up arrow key. So I'm just going to assign this whole thing to a variable. Result equals that. Now I use result, and it's 376. All right, guys. Well, that concludes our intro to math in JavaScript. So next we have another interactive lesson. So I hope you guys enjoy that, and I'll see you at the next lesson. Bye.